Welcome to the Redevelopment Commission special meeting. Will you please stand and join me for the pledge?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's see. Can we do our roll call?
Mayor Bonta,
Here.
Penny Ampler, Member Lack,
Here.
Member Munt,
Here.
Member Vasquez.
Here.
No claims, no minutes. Dan, are you right if we jump to the new business, or do you have
Yes.
anything you need to say? Okay. So we have consideration approval of professional service agreement supplemental number 2 with A&Z Engineering on the Portage Mall parking lot and alleyway project.
This is an additional agreement to the work that's being done for the Portage Mall, for the parking lot, as well as the alley project way. I have not had an opportunity to review that document to date. I don't know, have you had a chance to review it, Scott?
Only the beginning of it.
Only the beginning? I know it's for Mayor, it's to identify the right-of-way as well as the parcel lots that were being sold were being purchased and acquired by the Redevelopment Commission.
I have reviewed this, and I've talked to Bill at length about this. This is to gain the additional legal description
Yes.
we need for the downtown parking lot project. For the interior. No, this is contemplated and has been thought out.
Right. I
Well-
just don't remember what the cost of it was.
Oh,
217,530.
$35,000 change order.
Yes.
Supplemental agreement number 2 will increase the design service from 182,220 to 217,530, an increase of 35,310.
Right. This was the work necessary to define exactly what we were purchasing from the property owners and would remain in their, help me if I'm explaining this incorrectly, that would remain in their possession as their property.
What's being added is a boundary retracement survey to therefore identify exactly their remaining parcels.
And they need that for the closing of each parcel.
well, I feel a lot better, because I thought I knew what it was, and then when you guys said you didn't know, I was like, wait, that feels different. That's all good. So now that they've confirmed, I mean, I
Right.
definitely, recommend doing this.
So to simplify, Mayor, and my wife sometimes tells me I beat a dead horse, but to simplify, when A&Z did their original survey work and identification of the property lots, they didn't do a full survey. They surveyed it from the perspective of what do we need to purchase in general in order to put in the east right-of-way frontage and a new road, and what do we need in order to put in the rear alley access for the downtown mall. And then we had the maps and the necessary documents and the information to go to the property owners. Once the property owners all agreed that they would sell their property, we needed to have a more formal Alta survey so they knew what their property was and what we were buying from them. And that's what this is. We didn't want to do that up front because we didn't know if the property owners were going to sell.
And this gives them enough information. for
Takes
the
it to closing.
closings, Legals and all that.
Takes
kind
it to
of fun stuff.
closing, yes. And that's what Bill needs to get it to closing along with Scott.
I'll make a motion to approve supplemental agreement number 2 in the amount of $35,310.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And we're good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Consideration for number 2 is approval of the Abbenmarsh Task Directive number 2 for traffic analysis at Highway 20 and Samuelson Road.
If I may defer to Sandy on this, she is the lead on this project. She's giving me a weird look, but
So this is more than what it says on the agenda. It's not just for traffic analysis. I believe that that's already been done by the development that is going in there. This is more to prepare plans for the intersection of Samuelson Road and Route 20 and the improvements along Samuelson Road for that future development.
so in addition to that, there is consideration of expanding the allocation area, the Portage allocation area, to include this right-of-way, so that tax increment revenue can be used for any improvements that come out of this analysis.
Dan, I'm familiar with the intersection of, 20 and Samuelson, and I don't know if this is more of a Sandy question. I mean, I don't believe we're building a roundabout at 20 and Samuelson. What are examples of potential improvements to the intersection that could be found if we go forward with this? I'm not trying to put you on the spot like we know already, but just in general, do we have a reason to think there's improvement to be found with the development going on over there?
So I believe it was part of the agreement, and I have never seen the agreement, so I'm not sure what it entails, but I believe that in the agreement, it said that we would be responsible for the improvements on Samuelson Road due
Yes.
to the truck traffic that will be coming and going from the site.
So potentially it could be turning lanes or.
Right.
So it's like an extension of our EDA, would that be fair to say?
Exactly.
Got it, okay.
Plus, it involves the trail. This is the trail that's north on Samuelson
I
Road?
don't believe so.
Okay.
So what we have here is that the first Abbenmarsh agreement that we're considering is just the Highway 20 at Samuelson Road per 764 Holdings traffic impact study. We have that, and we also have an Abbenmarsh for, I don't know if this is already in the contract or we're doing for today, we're adding phase 103 at Irving Street.
That's right.
The
Getting
next one on
confused.
here is at 104 Trailhead Design at Central and Samuelson Road.
Yeah. Those are just separate tasks.
How about US 6 at Target PJ's?
It's a separate task, separate project.
So we're going to approve those separately?
Yes.
I think that's for us.
Will this also include anything with pedestrian? I remember about a year or so ago, there was a fatal accident which involved a pedestrian. I don't remember seeing any lines or anything like that for pedestrians, if there was a need for them to use that area.
And that's what the analysis would show us. So
definitely
I
s-
apologize about the trail. I was thinking Samuelson and Central.
That's okay. It's
That's a
definitely
separate
something
project.
that we would consider, especially if we are having to rebuild that intersection at 20 and Samuelson. I can't imagine we're going to build a road without sidewalks, so we'll have to just see how it works out.
Oh, you're welcome. But this is driven by the potential development of Kayak Point.
It makes sense to me, given that it's really an extension of the EDA, and that there
Yes.
could be any number of issues that come once development, construction starts over there. This makes sense that we'd be looking at the spot
Right.
in the allocation area to get it taken care of.
So at this point in time, the traffic needs to be analyzed from the perspective of assuming Kayak Point is developed. We're almost there. And that could be a 402 two unique, separate $200,000, 200 square foot structures, which can be anywhere from 250 to 300, maybe 400 employees. That's going to increase the traffic volume at that intersection and along 20. And what we're looking at is how do we identify the right in, right out, left in, left outs for accessing Kayak Point A off Samuelson, extending Samuelson north for further development, plus any development that occurs west of Samuelson. So the whole intersection needs to be analyzed to determine what the improvements that are necessary at that intersection. And it was part of our agreement as far as Kayak Point.
All the traffic analysis have been done. This is a contract to
Right.
put together documents
Yes.
of what the remedies are.
Yes.
I'll make a motion to approve the Avon Marsh Project Scope Change Directive number 002.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And we're good. That gets us to number 3, consideration, approval of Avonmarsh Task Directive number 3 to perform construction and inspection services for the Irving Street Road Diet and Trail Project.
Sandy, if you want me to do this one?
No, that's okay. Can we hold off on
Yes.
this agenda item until we get down to 8.10?
Yes.
I don't want to sign a contract for construction inspection if we're not going to move forward with bidding out the project.
And I think there's discussion on this we're going to have,
Yes.
so for the sake of efficiency, maybe it's better to skip this for now and go over.
Or if you just want to put, if
I'll
you
just
may
move it down
entertain just
there.
using 810 right now, but it's associated with 8.3.
You know, I always was told by my mother, if you got homework, do the easy stuff first. So
Okay.
I think
Okay.
I think
Have
we'll
at
do
it.
the easy stuff first. So I'll jump to the 8.4, approval of Avonmarsh for Task Directive number 4 to design trailhead on the southwest Central Avenue and Samuelson Road.
As some of you may be aware, we have plans that Avonmarsh has designed. We have 100% plans. We're ready to bid out a reconstruction project at that intersection. But what we're planning on doing there will eliminate the existing trailhead parking lots. And we did not have in the original design contract funds to design a new trailhead. I think we left it out because we weren't sure exactly how much room that intersection was going to take. So this is a task for them to design a parking lot, possibly a pavilion, where to put the portage on and things like that.
And I apologize, this was the project I was thinking of earlier when I thought of Samuelson and 20. I was thinking of the trailhead here. We have gone over this project.
You're thinking of
and it's-
Samuelson and a trail. This is further
Yes.
south, but it's Samuelson and a trail all over
Right.
again.
Because the trail, I believe, crosses Central Avenue at that point near Samuelson.
Yeah, it actually crosses Central and Samuelson. We're trying
Right.
to get the trail through the intersection,
Section.
so it's a lot safer than
Right.
what we're looking at now.
Exactly.
Is this related to 8.8, the right-of-ways?
Yes, it is.
Make a motion to approve Avon Marsh Project Scope Change Directive number 004.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Gets us to 8.5, consideration approval of Avonmarsh Task Directive number 5 for traffic analysis for U.S. Target, BJ's, and surrounding intersection. I think this is somewhat self-explanatory by this point in the history of the
Yeah.
Redevelopment Commission, but just in case.
Yeah, I mean, as you all are aware, there's a lot of construction going down at that intersection. We received a couple of traffic studies from the developer that really didn't include any cross-traffic between the two developments. So we want to make sure that once this is built, that street is safe for our residents and for anybody coming in from out of town.
Sandy, is this related to, could it be already, and if not, the fact that Route 6 being a state road and the intersection of Airport and 6 being certainly one of the most dangerous intersections in our city, I don't think that's a secret at all. I've heard things, but I've never had it confirmed if NDOT was already looking at that as this project has gone forward. Is this related at all to that intersection, or is this particular task just to the south of it?
So this task will actually take care of the whole corridor. They're going to look at adjacent intersections too, just to see how traffic is flowing, but it is the corridor. It is not just the intersection of what would be Veterans Avenue and Airport, it's for the Route 6. And you're right, in the traffic studies prepared by the developer on both sides, it did address that intersection, and it had some weird configuration that they were reducing southbound traffic to 1 lane rather than the 2 lanes that we have now, and then increasing northbound traffic to 3 lanes. Yeah, before we move forward with any of that, we want to make sure that everything's considered on the City of Portage's side, make sure it is what we want to do and what is the best for that intersection.
Because there's additional potential development south of the Simon Southeast project or target. So it has to take into consideration that development and how it impacts that intersection, as
But-
well as Veterans
But this
Parkway.
study does include the Route 6 area itself, not just the south of 6.
Yes,
Okay.
that is my understanding, correct?
Yes, there are actually, in the documents that were in the agenda, it does note a handful of locations that they are going to investigate. US 6 Veterans Avenue, US 6 Airport Road, US 6 proposed right in, right out at the Target site, Pan Am Drive, 450, 500 West and Veterans Avenue, the Coles Access Drive, and the Delivery Access Drive behind the building. So they're looking at the whole area and considering, how it works now and how it's going to work in the future.
Is this in addition to Directive 001, or does it take the place of? In the packet, there was 001, that was the same price as 005.
Yeah, I noticed Sonia had that in the packet. We received this task proposal earlier in the year. I believe it has either a January or February date on the 001, and Avamars updated it. The price is the same, and put the more up-to-date date on there of May 5th. So we're just going to throw out 001 and move forward with 005.
And then before Wilma asked, is it going to impact the schools and will they have
How did you
involvement?
How did you know? Did you could read my mind now, which is great. As a liaison for the school board and a member of the community, of course, I realized how critical the safety of our students and faculty and all the employees and parents. There's just a high volume of traffic in that area. So, I'm concerned as others to make sure that we're going to continue with safe and be, the precautions of making sure that it's a safe
Right.
place.
And that's part of the purpose and the reason for having this analysis amongst looking at the intersection as a high accident rate area at Airport and 6, but also looking at schools' impact, the impact to the school or the impact of the school, based upon their traffic too. So adding it all together and looking at that, sure.
Do they consider additional signs reducing the speed limit, let's say, in that area?
The traffic engineers will look at every option,
Okay.
sure.
They'll also look at crash reports. That'll probably be the first thing that they do, is ask for crash reports
Right.
in that area and then analyze all of that.
Right. They're gonna look at volumes, anticipated volumes. They put it in their traffic engineering and modeling platforms, and they'll determine, what kind of signalization is required there, what kind of speed necessary, and then provide options.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Make a motion to approve Evan Marsh Project Scope Change Directive number 005.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. And then any opposed? No. That'll get us to 8.6, seek quotes to crack seal roads within the allocation area.
Our street department has more than what they can handle. So in order to relieve some of their duties, it was an idea to come to Redevelopment Commission and have them fund crack sealing for roads in the allocation area. I have a handful of streets, and our estimate is hopefully around $70,000.
And when I did, and this is for consideration of seeking the quotations for that cost. Prior to, and there's other considerations for seeking quotes here. Prior to putting together the spending plan for the Redevelopment Commission, I did speak with Sandy as well as Tom, and this project was included in that spending plan for this year. It wasn't a percentage based upon probability. It was 100% to be done this year.
Make a motion to seek quotes to crack seal roads within an allocation area.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And it passed.
Then I'd like to seek quotes, where'd it go?
There's the one below it, 8.7, to seek quotes to crack seal, seal coat stripe, and remove and replace signage? Yes. In parking lots.
That is correct. The Redevelopment Commission owns quite a few properties in the city of Portage. For example, our police station, our fire station on Central Avenue, City Hall, things like that. And our parking lots are starting to see some wear, so we just need to maintain them as usual, and it's about time that we do that.
Any questions or a motion?
Sandy, that was the, what specific parking lots again?
I have my list. City Hall, the police station, Fire Station 3, 6100 Southport Road, the open air pavilion parking lot, Gilbert Park, those two parking lots there, Downtown Community Park, which is the former Little League parking lot, and there is a new-ish parking lot in between the alley and Main Street right behind the police station that needs to be crack sealed.
Thank you.
Just as an addition, I've been to the NERC building at 6100 Southport, and their parking lot has more than one cracks that are beyond an inch to an inch and a half wide, so those need to be addressed fairly soon.
They are pretty big.
Yeah.
You could definitely trip on those, and so I hate to give you an estimate for this work because I don't know what it's going to take for them to basically grind out those cracks and fill them. So we'll see if it's not feasible once we get the quotes. You know, obviously, we can pick and choose what we...
Right. But we need
What
to
we
know
do.
what the cost is and what the quote is.
Exactly.
I'll make a motion to seek quotes to crack seal, seal coat, stripe, and remove, replace signage in parking lots.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Gets us to 8.8, consideration of purchase of right-of-way along Central Avenue between Scott and Samuelson Road, which I think was noted is related to 8.4. Not to say you can't be for one and against the other, but I mean, it doesn't make a great deal of sense to do one and not the other, is my understanding.
That is correct. It does make sense to do them all, but this task is to work on the purchase of right-of-way along Central Avenue between Scott Street and Samuelson Road. This is an older road. Properties actually go to the center line of the road, and to do any work, which is we're hoping to get sidewalks along Central on both sides and underneath the toll road so that we can connect people to the parks, we need to purchase right-of-way in order to do that. So we'll start off by getting appraisals and then move forward with purchasing properties. Bill Rathjen obviously will be our person. We've worked with him on the city side, but obviously you guys worked with him on the RDC side for purchasing properties.
I'll make a motion to wait. Thank you. I'll make a motion to move forward with purchasing right-of-ways along Central Avenue.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
That'll get us to 8.9, seeking quotes for liquid road for roads at Round Founder Square. For
So,
a second, I thought we had a
I-
street called Liquid
Liquid
Road
Road.
because it was
No.
capitalized. It is a good name, honestly.
But I
last
will
year-
ask Sandy to explain what a liquid road is.
sure will. So last year, we tried out this product. It is a lot thicker than what you would use to seal coat a parking lot, but we did try it out on main streets in our downtown, and we also chose an off-street in the Garrison area. It helps preserve the asphalt over time, just the sun baking on it, it loses part of its stickiness. And putting a coating on top of it, like you do with parking lots, it helps preserve it, it gives it more years. So, there's a rating system for roads, and those roads were probably at a 5 or a 6, and with putting liquid road on, it brings them closer to the 10, which is like new construction. It brings it actually to an 8. So it preserves the road and gives us a longer lifetime before we actually have to repave them. So the roads that we're wanting to do, we've already done Main Street on the west side of the square. We want to finish all the way around Founders Square and Main Street on the east side of the square.
Does that include striping and everything?
Yes, because it is a black coating, we will be restriping, and we're going to be taking a look at the signage out there too and updating it if it's not appropriate.
In comparison to what you've used before, is it very costly?
Compared to resurfacing the road, I don't have a percentage, but it's a lot less expensive than milling off asphalt and placing it again.
So it extends the life of the asphalt and pavement beyond its normal repair. So typically, asphalt pavement, once laid, will last anywhere from 12 to 15 years, normally 13 to 14. If this is placed at the correct time, before it's depreciated or worn down too much, it basically extends that life anywhere from 4 to 7 more years without having to go back, scrape it, and replace it. Would that be a good example, assumption?
That's a lot better explanation than
Right.
my Pacer 5, 6 to 8.
Right, yes.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
I'll make a motion to seek quotes for liquid road for roads around Founders Square.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, passed. All right, now let's get to the hard stuff. Permission, well, Dan, would you say that it makes sense to address 8.10, seeking bids? I guess if we're going to get stuck potentially on the project, design itself, I guess I'm just wondering what's a better item to start with. Does that make sense?
So it's better to start with 10 because you can't do 8.3 without having 8.10. Because once the construction starts, you need to have an RPR or a property representative, which represents us, independent of the contractor. So they watch, amount of fill, what the temperature was that day. So if there's ever an insurance claim, there's someone out there watching on our behalf.
So essentially, if we were to seek bids, we could seek bids and then determine the entity doing that
Yes.
if we decide to go forward.
Yes.
Yes, we asked for a task from Avonmarsh because they did design the project, and sometimes it's convenient to use the same engineer because they're more familiar with the plans and they can work through any isries.
In
wouldn't
addition
just-
to that, typically the engineer that designs the project, they're more aware of the designs and the way the project should be completed. If another RPR or engineer firm comes in, they may not have the same insight into why a particular improvement's being made or why that was selected, and so it creates issues. Because the contractor is separate than the designer and the engineer.
So originally, and Greg, was the last time we talked about this 2024, am I right? Because I don't think we really brought this up in 25, right?
That we
It was
touched on
brought
it.
up as part of a potential project to consider.
Like we put it under the projects list, but I mean, I don't think that I think this got voted down in 24, or at least
Yes.
put on hold. Some actual action was taken about it.
So we met in December at the library at one of our after-hours meetings, and we discussed the next year's budget. So you're right, it was in '24, and there were a few members not interested in moving forward with this. But it's out there. You know, the Redevelopment Commission paid for the design of the project. I still believe it's a good project. The road is in need of repair. So obviously, it's in front of you as an option.
Well, like I say,
And-
I think that in 2024, I never was against this by any means, but I definitely don't know if I considered it as high a priority in 2024, given the other needs we had at the time.
Right.
Irving definitely needs repair one way or another. So I definitely understand that if we're going to repair Irving and we have the means to do it from the RDC, is this worthwhile to both, repair it and then go forward with the trail? One of the things I want to be very careful about, because we're still so preliminary, but I think as Tom Cherry knows and we've discussed, there is some potential of Irving eventually going down all the way into a new route. Tom, I'm looking at you, not trying to give you like a whole nod, I got the nose signal.
No, that is true.
What I'm talking about is the potential future of eventually having the Nativity Church entrance go on to Irving from Sunrise, and then leading to a future traffic flow differently on Willow Creek. That's, at the time, I think we're still in very preliminary talks about how to be able to make that feasible. I guess what I'm wondering is, does it work independently of that potential future project we're working on? Or would it be better to try to, I don't know, kind of fit the two?
Well, I think it could be independent.
It's definitely independent because there is a gap between Mulberry and Sunset.
So basically, the trail's never designed to go further than Mulberry. Is that
Yeah, the trail will go down Irving Street, and then it will turn and go down Mulberry so that you can get to Gilbert Park, and then from Gilbert Park, continue south to the Prairie Duneland Trail. So it gets you from Prairie Duneland to the downtown.
Right. So the underlying issue is, in our spending plan, we've identified a value of approximately $5 million in land, redevelopment commission land sales in this fiscal year. That most likely may not happen. So my concern, and I believe the concern of a couple of the board members, commission members, is that if that isn't realized, we need to be more careful on which projects we move forward. So in 2024, if I remember correctly, the probability of completing this project was 25%. 2025, we moved it up to 50, and then I believe last year we moved it up to maybe 75, because we're getting to a point where we either have to move on the designs we have, or they'll have to be redone. And so we moved it up, but at the same time, we have to take into consideration our fiscal responsibility of ensuring that the funds are there. So my recommendation is for now to keep it on the table, but not to take any action today.
So you think that it would be sufficient to table this or something to that effect?
Right.
Go ahead.
I mean, I would
Lori.
defer to,
If I remember correctly, as our mayor said, it wasn't really a priority.
Right.
And the cost,
right,
and the fact that the park isn't really utilized as much as maybe people thought in the beginning. And so how many people would actually use that trail?
right,
That was my understanding 2 years ago.
right. And part and parcel was to improve Irving Street also. So the trail was working hand in hand with that project.
And I just want to be clear, it's tough for me because I think that the project is a good idea in and of itself with the trail, and I know that Irving Street needs repairs. You simply put,
Right.
we can't just keep, patching that, you
Right.
know? At the same time, I think that it goes hand in hand with our downtown work. We're
Yes.
on the verge of putting money we have together to really remake our downtown. I mean, in a perfect world where all the money is there, it'd be great to both be building the downtown where we're building it, and we're creating more of a bike and walking path to get to the downtown. and connect to Gilbert Park, which is such an underutilized park, given the fact that there's not a lot of parking space. But if the trail can get you all the way to the Prairie Duneland Trail, it can get you to the downtown, that'll change that whole dynamic. Like, I think that that's very worthwhile. I'm not sure if at this moment it's the right spot to do bids for it, you know? Just because I see what you're saying too about what are the odds we're gonna actually have the money we anticipate having.
Right. So I did have a conversation with Sandy about it, and I believe it's something that can be tabled, but keep it on our radar, because as downtown develops, it may impact that decision on that project.
I just never want to give up on this.
No.
Or give the impression that we're
No.
giving up on this.
No.
I just think that we're just waiting for that right window of the right time, the
The right
right
window of
amount of money,
opportunity.
and the right certainty that it's gonna have
Correct.
that short-term result we want. We know long-term what this will do, but
Right.
to match it a little bit better.
Right, exactly,
Yeah, if at the end of the year, we've sold a significant portion of land
exactly.
and
Like
downtown
hypothetically,
is
if,
taking off, I think this could bump up to
Right,
95% or whatever.
exactly.
you never know what sports teams are shopping around still, looking for a place to build a stadium and might need some land on our north side, and maybe we'll get something out of that to get this trail done.
But that,
I don't think anyone in the country knows what's going on anymore.
go to Poly
Are we
Market and
breaking
find out.
news right now?
That'd be such a fun, just, I don't know. The thing is, I think we're out of sports teams for people to speculate on at this point. Everyone knows what Fire's doing. I think we all have figured out what Sox are doing. Cubs aren't going anywhere. Or are they? I don't know, but.
Cubs are not leaving.
It's our last hope, maybe? Dan's shaking his head, doesn't think that's likely either.
No.
Concert venue could still be up in the air up there. We just need to, well, we'll send our RFPs out. We're pretty close to that. But at the end of the day, it's a significantly great piece of land. I'm excited to be marketing it this summer and to see, you know, again, our Hollis Harbor pitch, when it reached over 30 million people around the country, simply put, there's high interest in the land. I'm excited for us to ultimately sell it to the right developer.
Or if we think big, Mayor, we can always consider the shoreline sphere. We can have our own sphere like Vegas here in the north side.
I think we're going to be seeing that sphere next week, right?
Yes.
Maybe we can convince them to make the second one
Yep.
up here.
Out
That'd be
here.
great.
I'll make a motion to table items 8.3 and 8.10.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. As stated, we'll keep it on the capital improvement programming plan, but it is a valid project. Thank you.
Sherry, anything else?
Yeah, number 8.11.
Oh, yes. Thank you for reminding me that we still have one more item on the agenda.
Yes. This is the second annual Rocks Fest. We have hold harmless agreement for the property we own over near Portage Mall and also behind Portage Mall. This has been reviewed by attorney. Actually, he put this together last year. And I would recommend doing it contingent upon receiving insurance paperwork, so. And we are working with police and fire on a regular basis with Rocks Fest on ongoing. As ticket sales increase, we all meet with Robin and update plans and talk about numbers, so.
Do we have one of these agreements in place for the car show as well?
I don't know what happened with that. I'm not familiar with the car
Car
show.
Show did a hold harmless agreement through the Board of Works, and they got that done. But come to think of it, that probably should
We
have been
may
done
want to
with.
start, I can start doing that monthly,
Sure.
or we could just do it for whatever dates they have. So
Yeah.
next meeting, I could have those ready.
Well, the
'Cause they
next
were
meeting is,
utilizing-
next meeting's next week on the 28th, and their next one is on June 6th. So we have the time, and like I say, they've signed one with the Board of Works, but we can mirror that here to make sure we're covered.
Yeah, because they're using that center strip too.
Yeah.
So I could put it together. Yep.
Yeah, the most significant part is the burnout pit, which we don't own, but even so, let's make sure we have everything covered all the way across.
Yeah.
Make a motion to approve the hold harmless agreement contingent upon acceptance of insurance.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any other business, or is there a motion to adjourn?
One last
Oh, yes.
One last order of business, and not very long, and I'll be brief. I did want to mention to the commissioners that I have been, at the mayor's request, prioritized the economic development project agreements for Simon CRE for both the southwest allocation area and the southeast allocation area. The southeast project area economic development agreement has been finalized in final draft for review by Attorney McClure and Attorney Bartnicki. I did finish that's the southeast. The southwest, I did finish this afternoon, and that will be sent out shortly after this meeting for their review, assuming their attorney's, Attorney Acker for Simon CRE, their review, we should have a fully utilized and executed signed agreement within the next, 14, 15 to 30 days.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Any other business or motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.